My name is Sonia Vanhook. I am the current public relations manager, and that's why I volunteered to teach this particular breakout session because I have some things to say about PR. I'm also the past vice president of public relations for my club. And why should you listen to anything that I have to say? Well, I have an MBA. I earned a master's degree in business administration, and we concentrated very heavily on the marketing piece of that. I also have a graduate certificate in e-marketing from the University of Virginia. E-marketing is short for electronic marketing, which is also another word for digital marketing. I've listened to a lot of lectures. I've had a lot of experience, and I've made a lot of mistakes. I want to share with you how you can prevent making some of the mistakes that I've made and give you some of the shortcuts and some of the hints of the things that I've learned in 25 years of doing marketing. You as the VPPR are expected to promote your club to potential members and to current members. You need to help your club recruit new members, but also engage the members that you have. Because if you're just constantly recruiting new members, but you're losing the current members, you're just on a wheel and you're not getting any net growth. So you have a major responsibility in helping your club. If money were no object, I would buy billboard ads. I would hire the most beautiful people to do television ads for my club. I would put full page ads in the Sunday newspaper, and I could burn through a lot of money. But you know what? I don't have that kind of budget. For my club, my budget is zero. So I have to look for all the free opportunities that I can have. If any of you have a huge marketing budget, I'm just going to be really jealous of you right now, I'll confess. But I will look for all the free marketing opportunities that I can find. Meetup is the first one I want to mention. Meetup normally costs a small monthly fee, but our District 63, has a Meetup account. Meetup, for those of you who may not be familiar, is a place where people can come and look for meetings that they want to attend. And it used to be just very segmented. You went to Meetup Knoxville and you could find things just listed in Knoxville, but now it's expanded because we have so many more virtual things that we have. So we have Meetup. District 63 has an account that they pay for. They pay the amount, and then I can publish all the information for your clubs. If you do not have a Meetup account and you want me to publish your club, I would be happy to do that. All you have to do is send me the picture you want me to use, something relevant to your club, and then the information, a description about your club. When do you meet? Where do you meet? Is there a Zoom option? Do you want to just publish the Zoom, or do you want to tell everybody they have to email you for Zoom? However you want to handle that, send me that information. I'll put my email in the chat when I stop talking because I can't talk and type at the same time. So if you will send me that information, I'll be happy to help you promote your club. Then other free options we have are all of the social media accounts: Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok. Which one do you use? You choose the one that you're most comfortable with because you're the one doing all the work, and also the one where your members are. If you want to survey your members, where are your members? And then you can meet them there. If you have a clone, then do all of them, but very few of us are going to be able to do all of them. But if time is no option, you can. But I would just choose one or maybe even two and keep up with those because it is work. It does take time. Press releases are another way to get free information about there. And I love the things that Karen said. If I hadn't known better, I'd think she had been looking at my notes, but I didn't share them with anybody. But do a press release when you have an open house. Do a press release when you elect officers. Do a press release even when a new member joins. And that's a way to get the information out there. However, with the press release, of course, the newspaper has the option to print it or to not print it, or publish it or not publish it, because our newspapers are also available virtually. So you have very little control on that, but it is an option to get out there. Newsletters. I sent a digital flyer to our Washington County Chamber of Commerce newsletter. They include that in it. I also sent one to a local association of manufacturers, and they include that announcement in that newsletter. Their newsletter goes out to thousands of people, and that didn't cost me anything to be able to get that out. And then look for opportunities where there are a whole lot of advertisement, and then say, oh, look, Toastmasters needs to be there. Toastmasters needs to be on that bulletin board, or Toastmasters needs to be included in that. We talked about the free things, and then there are also some low cost. The print materials that you can purchase from Toastmasters are very glossy. They're printed nice. All you have to do is add your club information, and they are another option at low cost. How often should you publish something on your social media accounts? Well, daily is too much. Monthly is not enough. So the one that I went with was weekly for our club. That's what worked well for us, is that we try to present something on a weekly basis. All right, we talked about low cost options such as print. I think some of those Toastmasters, or one of those Toastmasters flyers, should be in every bulletin board that you see. In our building, I work at a conference center and an education center. There are probably 10 bulletin boards. Everywhere I go, there is a Toastmasters flyer on that bulletin board, and it cost me very little. All I had to do was get those pre-printed brochures from Toastmasters and then add my club information. Where are these marketing materials that we talked about? They're on the Toastmaster website under resources, resource library, and then you click on search. The two that I use the most are Find Your Voice. When I am targeting a group that want to improve their speaking ability, like she said, I needed to give a presentation at a wedding or at a funeral, and I want to practice the speech, I want to reach that audience, I use the Find Your Voice brochure. If I am targeting leaders, I use the one called Become a Better Leader. And those are available virtually. And that Become a Better Leader is the one that I sent to the person in charge of the chamber newsletter. And that one goes out to thousands of people. Use the same one in the Manufacturing Association. You can design your own brochures. You can say, okay, I'm not going to use anything that they've made for me. I'm going to design my own brochures. But if you do, you need to follow the brand for Toastmasters. It's on the Toastmaster website under resources, under brand portal. The first time I read that brand portal, I didn't publish anything for a week because it scared me to death. I thought, oh no, I haven't been using the right shade of blue or the right shade of yellow. Those colors are right there behind me in that virtual background. Well, I finally got comfortable with the colors. I found the instructions where it tells me exactly how to do it. And then I've been much more comfortable in publishing these things. Well, there are a lot of us. Look how many people are in this meeting. There are a lot of us. We're all trying to do the same thing. Resources have been made for us and published on the website, but those are very conducive to print. They're not as good for social media. So District is here to help you. Tanya Latham has volunteered to help us and create several templates that we can use when we're publishing on those avenues, those social media avenues that I talked about. Tanya, I'm going to ask you to unmute your mic and introduce yourself and tell us all about the templates that you're going to share with us and how we can use those. And it looks like she's popped a Google Doc right there in the chat. So be sure you can open that and see if you can access that. Tanya?
Good morning, Sonia. I apologize right off the bat, dear friends, and I know that's not how we should start a presentation, but I am in Pigeon Forge right now, and we just took the brunt of the storm. So our Wi-Fi is spotty right now. Sonia, how is my audio? Okay, perfect. Normally, I would always be on screen, but in order to preserve the Wi-Fi, I am not going to show video. So I am going to be sharing my screen, though, as we go along. And much like Sonia, why can you trust me? Why do we know what we're doing? I work for Epic Nine Marketing, and I'm a marketing consultant and social media expert. That's what I get to do every single day for the fun of it. And over time, we've all learned that all these platforms we work on, from Facebook to LinkedIn to Instagram, they're going to change on a dime on us. So we need to be prepared for those changes. And what worked 2 years ago may not work today. However, there are some constants in place right now, and there's some ways to make your life a little bit easier as you're working with your club in order to get that information out there. What sells, what pushes more than anything, everything needs a graphic to go with it. Dropping text will often get missed in someone's feeds. So we want to have some graphics. I do understand, just like Sonia said, though, following that brand style guide for Toastmasters can give you a nervous moment and say, did I get that color right? Did I do this right? Did I show this right? Did I put the logo where Toastmasters says it has to go? We want to make that a little bit easier for you. How many of you all are familiar with Canva? You can raise your hand, pop your hand up on your icon, anything like that. I see a few hands. Perfect. If you are not familiar with Canva, Canva is a free graphic design program. You do not have to have gone to UT Fine Arts Department and got your 4-year degree in graphic design to use Canva. And we've even made it simpler than just starting Canva on its own. On the link that I just sent you all for the Google Drive link, if you will open that up, you're going to see some links to a Canva templates. And Canva is spelled Canva. If you go directly to those links that I popped on there, just hit the very first one. It's going to take you over. It may ask you to open a program. And I see we have lots of people in there right now. So I'm going to show you what it would look like when you hit the first one. Just 1 second. You're going to see a template created by Tanya Latham was shared with you. Start designing now. This very first template is what a cover photo for a Facebook event could look like. If you're going to have an open house, if you're going to have your weekly meetings or whatever, setting up Facebook events is a free way that you can get information out there. And if you're not familiar with how Facebook works on events, Facebook will actually recommend your event to people who are in the area. Often I get recommendations on Facebook, my friends are going to such and such things. Or in case you missed it, there's an event 3 miles from you. So using the Facebook events feature is very handy for you, but you always want that cover photo. We've created a basic. So when I click that very first link, this is what I'll see. So I'm going to use that template. When I use that template, it's going to open me up in Canva. This is the free version of Canva. And when I'm talking about the free versus paid, Canva has a free version that gives you lots of robust use pieces, but it also has the paid version, which even extends the capacity. For what you all want to do today, the free version is fine. Now, you'll also notice that it just opened me right up into Canva there. And let's talk about what we would look at whenever we see something in a design. For the templates that Sonia and I have created, we have allowed some things to be changed, and we've made it very easy for you that we've locked some things that don't need to be changed. So you won't have to worry about color. You won't have to worry about placement on some things, and all of it was made easy. So when I'm clicking on this design, and let me move my Zoom screen out of the way a little bit, you'll notice if I click on the blue background, there's a lock down here at the bottom. That means it can't be changed. If I click on the icon, there's a lock right there, so it can't be changed. We wanted to make it as easy for you as possible so something would not accidentally move. Now, what can be changed on here though, event name and basic event info, you'll notice this is the font. This is the size of the font. This is the text color. This is whether I want it to be bold, italics, etc. There are a few things that I can change there, but it's already set for Montserrat. Montserrat is an approved font for Toastmasters. The background color is an approved color for Toastmasters. White is an approved color for Toastmasters. So we wanted to make it easy for you. So if I want to change this inside Canva, all I would have to do is highlight that information right there. And I could say, morning cup Toastmasters open house, January 22nd, 2022. Now, is it absolutely stunningly beautiful and the best graphic design I've ever done? No, sweet friends, it is not. But what it is capable of being changed and updated in ways that works for multiple people who do not have to have extreme graphic design knowledge. And that's what we wanted to be able to provide to make it easy for you all. Now, I'm also going to change the name right here. In Canva, once you upload the template like we just did, we can change this name. So I can say morning cup open house Jan 2022. And I've given it a new name right there. It automatically saves to Canva. Another cool thing about Canva is Canva does auto saves along the way. So you don't have to worry sometimes about what happens if I forget something. So that's a good thing. Now we've created it. We've adjusted it a little bit. We've done what we need to happen there. What do we do to actually get it down and use it on your social media? Great question. See this lovely download button right here? If we click download, give it just a second for my internet connection to catch up with my little hamster that's running my brain. It's not wanting to come up yet, so we'll have to give it a second. We have the option to download when it tells me that I can. And again, I do apologize. I don't think any of us expected the weather we're facing today. There we go. We have a file type option. We have PNG, JPEG, and some others. I suggest JPEG. JPEG is going to be a smaller size. It's far more easier to move it in different directions. It does not take up nearly as much space for you, and it loads a little bit faster. So I'm going to choose JPEG, and then I'm going to download. In just a second, it's going to ask me where I want it to download. I am going to choose to download it to just my downloads file on my desktop. Then I can pop over to my page. And I'm on the Morning Cup, where I've been a member for 3 years. Now, I am not the VPPR of the Morning Cup right now, but I was for 2 years. So I am still serving as an advisor to our current VPPR, so I still have access. So I am ready to create with this now. So I can bebop down and get ready to create an event. If you've never created an event on Facebook, it depends on where it may be on your page for your club. Mine pops in under more, and you'll notice I said it may be where it is for your club or on your page, because we have found that the lovely, wonderful Facebook changes where things show up for different people. So I am going to create a new event in just a second. Just 1 second. I've got to get everything out of the way so that we can see it. Just one second. I do apologize. I am running a little bit slow over here. We're going to choose create new event. Then all my event details are going to pop up. My host, of course, is the Morning Cup. And I am going to be in person for this. So we're going to have Morning Cup Toastmasters open house. We'll choose the date for when that will be. And I know that the graphics is the 22nd. It's really the 26th. I'll change that. And our start time will be 7:30 a.m. And our end time will be 8:30 a.m. because we as Toastmasters always have to have a start and an end time. I can have my description. Come join us for our open house at the Morning Cup Toastmasters. Now, this is a draft. This is not all the information that I want to include in there, but it shows you how to put that info in there. Then we need to choose our category. Our category for this is going to be, just one second. We're going to choose the right one, and it's networking because that's what fits best for Toastmasters. My location is the Vienna Coffee House in Maryville, Tennessee. Right now, we're going to let that one stand. Of course, our admission does not need created. You'll notice that it is sized to fit into that space perfectly. That template that we created for you fits in there beautifully. So if I were ready to go, I would go ahead and hit publish event, but I'm going to save this as a draft right now. So I can go back and edit it and make some changes. But that template we created is your graphic that will go right there beautifully for us. So let's go look at some of those other templates that we have created. So moving over here, you'll notice that we also have a LinkedIn banner. That would be when you're setting up your LinkedIn page for your club, which I highly recommend that you do. LinkedIn is the most used social media platform for business people. And a new business person is joining 3 times every second on LinkedIn in the United States. So we don't want to miss that opportunity. However, the banner size on LinkedIn is weird. It does not look like your Facebook banner. So you'll notice I've created the template for that. So let's look at what that template would look like. Notice that it is long and skinny. We've used the same color scheme. We've held to the same things we talked about before, where you have some locked items, some locked colors, and some things that you can change there. So the same process would work there. You would add in your information. You can change the name if you want to, and then you can download directly. Now, you also have some options. If you have some paid versions of Link or a paid version of Canva, you could set this up so it would do some direct publishing for you, but we're not going to dive deep into that today. We're going to focus in on just using the templates. A few of the other templates that we've created is, let's say that you just want to share something out on Facebook. So let's look at this one right here that is called the quote. You have a quote that you want to share. You need a graphic that would go with the post that you're sharing. We've created a very basic quote template for you so that you can add some information in there. Again, a few things are locked here. You'll notice we locked the location of the logo, but we've kept some other things changeable here. Your background colors are locked, but your content, such as what you want your quote to say and the website address that you might want to lead someone to, those can be changed. Just remember that when you're putting a website address in there, it is not clickable if it is in a graphic. Unfortunately, I have seen some graphics that have a 10,000 character web address on there as if someone was going to be able to click it. They will not. If you want someone to go to a very long address, I suggest using a link shortener, such as bit.ly or something like that. If you'll notice, the links sent you back over on the Google Doc were all shortened and had specific back-end names to help you identify them a little bit better. Those actual links were about 100 to 150 characters long to begin with. By shortening them with bit.ly, which is bit.ly, you can take a very long link, go to bit.ly as a website, pop it right in there, and it'll give you a much shorter link that you can share. So those are ways that you can get some information out there quickly and in a way that keeps you within the branding guidelines of Toastmasters and also helps you actually reach your audiences. Those are good things that we want. So let's think about what we might want to change here on this quote template and different ways that you might be able to use it. So first of all, I'm going to change the name and we're going to call it quote template for me. And then what if I wanted to say the most dangerous phrase in the English language is we've always done it that way. And to attribute that, we're going to change this section right here to Grace Hopper. I've got a quote that could go up. I also have some adjustments that I could make to this if I want. I can change inside this a little bit of the formatting so it lines up a little bit better. Also, the sizing is not locked for you. So you could play around with sizing by moving the fonts up and down. Not only can I do them with the plus or minus, I can also do them manual entry. And as we play with that, we can move some things around with hard enters and different things that makes it a little bit easier for you. Now, what does hold solid here, remember, is the location of the icon and the background colors. So what else could we use this for? It doesn't have to just be a quote. It could also be so now I've made an announcement and I can actually delete the section where there was an attribution if I want to. Not everything I want someone to know appears on the graphic, though. This was enough to catch their attention. Once I download this and upload this as a post into Facebook, when I put the post up, that's when I'm going to add more information. I'm not going to give them everything on this graphic that if you're like me and use your phone for almost everything, you can't read it anyway on the graphic. So we want to use graphics to catch attention, to be highlights, to stop the scroll. Sonia has heard me say this so many times and she's about to go ahead and laugh. I can just see the smile coming. The adult attention span is 7 seconds. The goldfish attention span is 8 seconds. We have to beat a goldfish on social media. And truly, the social media attention span is really 2 to 3 seconds. The graphics that we use are enough to stop someone's eye from tracking. If we can stop that eye from moving for just a second because they paused, then we've got the chance that they may read the message, which is why we want to use graphics. Again, my sweet friends, these are very generic, very basic, but these are to make it easy for you all who may not have the graphics design background or the marketing backgrounds to have those pieces that could work for you. Now, there's 4 or 5 different templates that we've included over here, and they do some different things. That we also created the Facebook cover. So let's go look at this and why is this a certain way? So I'm going to pop in and look at the Facebook cover. Now, some of these templates, you may say, well, why didn't they use all their space? Why are they limiting us to certain places that we should put information? Or why is that logo locked right there? Shouldn't it go over here closer to the edge? For a Facebook cover, and let's go look at what a Facebook cover is. Just one second. So if I'm going to look at the Morning Cups page, the Facebook cover that we see is this right here. This is your cover photo. However, if you look at the Morning Cup on your mobile device, Facebook, you'll see a different sizing for this photo, and you might not see it all, or it might have different upper and lower margins. That's one reason why back over here on what you see here, we have limited information location. Centered for height and width, so that no matter how someone is looking at this information on mobile or desktop, they're going to be able to see the information that you provide. Now, let's say that you want to change this. It doesn't have to just be your name and state. You could include a quick message there and say, come join us at the Morning Cup Toastmasters, Maryville, Tennessee. Now, you'll notice that that widened and really messed up where we want some things. So in order to change the size of a text box like this, what you'll do is you hover over the edge till you get the sidebars, and you can slide them, and then back over here, slide them. Just remember, you want to allow this margin over here. You can move this up and down, but center it to where the logo is sitting. That way, when you do upload and you're dealing with desktop and you're dealing with mobile version, you've got a great piece that will show up well for you. Same thing here. If I want to use this, I can download. I suggest going to JPEG, and then I hit download. Wherever I tell it to go on my desktop, that's where it's going to sit for a moment until I'm ready to use it. That is a very basic overview of using templates and how you can use them to stretch and grow for your club. What questions do you have? And again, this was extremely basic.
The first thing that I want to say is how valuable these templates are to me, and then to the rest of you, because when I start to specifically publish something on Twitter, I have taken a brochure and cut it in half and posted the top half first and then the second half because it didn't fit in the boxes. But Tanya has spent a great deal of time making sure that these fit into the boxes that we need. All right, there is a question coming in the chat. Is there a template for Instagram?
Great question. We have not yet created that. The Google Doc link, though, that I shared for you, Sonia and I will be updating that link over the next few weeks, and I'll be including a few additional templates on there. So please make sure that you share that link or save that link, I apologize, or have access to that link. Also, Sonia has stated that she'll be glad to share that out through the VPPRs so that you'll have that in a later message also.
I will be following up with an email to all VPPRs. So you'll get a copy of that email. And then when you see that, it'll probably come from District 63 instead of from Sonia Vanhook. So be sure and open that. That's the information that it will have for you.
But will you make sure that those addresses that she had there in purple or blue, like the bit.lys, all those are somewhere in what you send?
Yes.
I did take a photo, but it's easier to cut and paste if you send it in an email or something.
Will Tanya's email address be in there as well?
I will be glad to pop my email into chat right now. If
Great.
anybody would like to message, I'll be glad to answer. I do ask that you give me a day or so. I am in my heavy time at work right now. We are closing deals left and right before the start of the new year.
I have a question.
Yes.
If you create, for example, those templates in Canva, is there a place in Canva also where they are where you can store them, or you always download once you create and bring them to your wherever you want to file them at, those templates?
Once you have your Canva account, you should be able to pop back to that design and change. So for example, let me go back to share screen for just a second. Okay. And so I've adjusted this one. So if I go home, and again, slow internet and rainstorms do not go together. Okay, and I had not logged in on purpose because I wanted you all to see how to do it. It's just set it up as free and personal. So if I go home, let me just play for a second. Okay. Now, it should show up in my designs, all your designs.
Got you. Thank you.
There
you.
you go. And now you can see. So any of those I could pop in, open back up. I could change and rename if I wanted to.
Now, is this only for a paid
Does that
account,
make
or
sense?
can you do this under a free account as well?
This is all free. I have a paid account, but I created a free account to model with you all today. If you do want the paid account I think is $12.99 a month. Have I lost everyone?
Not yet. I have to see when I get to do it myself.
I was
No,
saying thank you.
Thank you. I thought I lost connection there for a second.
You've just dazzled us so much we were speechless.
That is very sweet.
When
What
you can
other
make
questions?
us speechless, you have accomplished something.
Oh goodness, what else can I help with?
Tanya, I do have a quick question.
Sure.
I know you said that the Montserrat font is the approved font.
It is a
Um,
usable font.
it's a
It is,
usable font, but
yes.
so that means we can use something different. Like for example, we were talking about fun. Um, as far as the logo and everything, what can we do to make that Facebook cover fun? Like for example, we want to wish people a Merry Christmas. We want to wish people happy holidays and that kind of thing.
That is a great question. To hold to Toastmasters branding guide, I need to tell you to use Montserrat.
Okay.
However, ask me a question when I'm not being recorded.
Okay. I get that. I'll do that. I will do that. Thank you.
Yes.
And I need to go and look at the guidelines for that. Thank you.
Right. And we wanted to make it easy for everyone to follow the guidelines. So
Okay.
that's why we pre-built certain things.
Thanks.
What other questions can I help with?
Can you go into about the meetup and the way we work through that so that we stay within the guidelines? This is Luann Christie. I've been working with that in a conversation group, and I asked about it. It was $23.99 a month, and I understood this past 2 weeks there was information that TI, or maybe it was the district, was going to do that. I heard Sonia today send everything to her and she will put it in. But where do we see what she's putting in, and how does our city see what she's putting in?
Sonia, I'm going to let you take it from here.
Thank you, Tanya. Thank you so much. Luann, to answer your question, the District 63 has a Meetup account, and I have access to that account. That means I have the username and the password. I
Right.
can promote as many events. Well, I'm sure there's some kind of a limit, but we wouldn't reach it. I can promote all of the clubs in District 63 if I have that information. The information that I need is the picture that you want associated with that, and then the description. Anybody in the world then can go to meetup.com and search for Oak Ridge Toastmasters. And then the things that have been published will show up under that.
Okay. Okay.
And I promise to follow all the guidelines
Okay.
that Tanya has talked about and that are published. I popped in the chat. Yes, thank you, Marty, for doing that. Resources. It won't let, I'm recording, so it wouldn't let me minimize my screen and go over and copy that. But it's under the Toastmasters website, then resources, then brand portal, or Marty put the actual link into there. So you can click on that and it'll give you all those font sizes, the colors, and everything that we talked about. Tanya says, thank you to you all. It was a privilege to meet you all today. My contact information is there. There's her name, her email address, telephone number. Please tell me in the first text your name and your club name so I'll know who I'm talking with. So when you email her, identify yourself and say, I was in your breakout session, the VPPR breakout session. And she'll know who she's talking to because she's contacted, I'm sure, by many people.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
This is Anala Dior's. When we send you information to put on the meet out, do we need to provide you the banner and all of that, or are you going to just need to send you the narrative?
Just send me the text. All I need is the text and the picture, and I'll do the rest.
Okay.
Because we're going to get good use of our money. We're paying for that account, and I want to get good use of that to publish as much as I can. Now, some of your clubs have your own Meetup account, and that's fine. but you're paying for yours and then you control all that. I can't publish to your Meetup account. I can only publish to the district one.
Okay, we had a former person who set up one under Mr. Johnson, and he was doing this. And he has since died, and the person that was working with that has left the club. Do we just leave that alone? I can see it, but I can't update it or have access to it. Do you know about that?
I know that it has to be updated. If somebody has not paid the bill, then you will lose access to it altogether. But find out if you still have a current membership. I guess you would have to contact Meetup and find out, are we current? And then you can use your own Meetup. Tanya
Hi,
says,
Sonia.
I'm stepping out due to additional weather issues. Thank you so much. Oh, she says some very kind things about me. Looking forward to meeting all of you in person sometime soon.
Hi, Sonia. It's Ralston Maloney.
Hi, Ralston.
Does Meetup only work with Facebook?
Meetup is not, no.
No?
It's its own little website.
Okay.
Go to meetup.com, Google it, meetup.com, and you will be amazed at all the wonderful events that you can find.
Okay, thanks.
And it was originally, when I first saw it, it was originally designed for in-person meeting. Like we had Meetup in Knoxville and Meetup in Oak Ridge and all of these different locations, and then COVID. So now it's kind of opened up to where people are attending virtually.
Okay.
I will tell you that my club had at least one visitor who came strictly because of Meetup, and then they came in and he said, yeah, I saw you on Meetup. It was a younger person, by the way. So those of you who are looking for some of those younger people, and then that visitor joined our club because of Meetup. So it was well worth the first time we used it. We had one of our club members who paid the yearly fee. So it wasn't, it's not exorbitant if you want to have your own Meetup and have complete control over that. But we can combine our resources right now. Other questions?
Okay.
Sonia, the district pays for a Meetup account, but if each club would send one administrator, we can give them the administrative rights for their club.
Good.
And they would just have to take care of that.
Wonderful.
Matt, who do we send that information to? You?
Yeah, you can send that to us and we can get that taken care of.
Okay.
The trio, you can send it to the trio and we can take care of.
Make sure, Mr. Maddie, what you just said. So instead of a club getting a account, send you guys the administrator for that particular club so that they can enter information, so they can
That's
manage.
correct.
Okay, thank you.
We have a blanket account, so we can just have individual clubs underneath our account.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, I did a little research this week. I looked, and it looks like many of those accounts are like 1, 3, 8, and then I'm in a language group that's about 166, but maybe only 3 are on. And it looked to me like it functions as a conduit to a link, which the manager puts on, and then the link goes to Zoom. It's really not a place you have meetings. It's a way to get to the places that have meetings. Is that correct?
It's a way to publish the meetings that you are having.
Right.
Can publish the meetings. We're not trying to recreate Zoom or leave Zoom or
No.
anything. We're trying to publish to your people that you can join a Toastmasters club, and here's how, just by
Right.
clicking to those.
So it's like a billboard, and the link is on it, and then the person on the Zoom allows them to come in or not.
Yes,
Yes. Okay.
however
That's
you've
what-
set up your Zoom. Mhm.
Yes, that's what I thought. All right. Thank you.
No, one of the 3 reasons that clubs fail is that they do not promote. So that's something we need to, as VPPRs, we need to promote our clubs. I know some clubs put flyers on the back of bathroom stalls. Imagine that. So you know you're sitting there, you're going to be looking at something. So just that could introduce some new members to your club.
Well, I found you have to make a deal with the custodial services because they throw them away and you have to go replace them. You might keep that in mind.
Yeah, it might take a little work.
Same thing,
Sometimes you do have to get permission, but
right.
other times, you know, you do what you got to do.
Sonia, do we send you the email to get for the administrator's name, or do we send it to Maddie? I mean, no,
Sonia, are you
send the
taking care of the
administrator's
Meetup
name.
account?
Say it again, Marty.
Sonia, are you taking care of the Meetup account?
I am.
Okay, so then yeah, Sonia will take your administrator's info, get them set up, and then they have access to that.
You're assuming that each club has an administrator.
Correct. Each club needs to designate an administrator.
Right.
Excuse me, this is Denise McBride speaking. You were talking about putting it on behind doors, etc. I think about the YMCA and probably well, I know the YMCA, and they have advertisement, but I think that's paid. I don't know that they allow you just to put random things up. Even on their ordinary billboard, I think everything has to be approved and have a connection to wellness, not just anything.
Well, that's correct. I know my YMCA has things above the urinal for advertisements, and that's paid. But if you go to the District 63 website, where you can see some videos by Tanya Latham about LinkedIn and some other topics she has discussed, there's a guy named Lance Miller, and he took a club that had less than 20 people and turned it into a 90-member club. And that was one of the things he did. He went and promoted his club, and he went everywhere, and he put flyers everywhere and put it on those bathroom stalls. So that is something that has worked. Now, granted, we do have to get permission sometimes, but you know, sometimes we just have to think, you know, out of the box. Just like Tanya said, she has to make sure the branding is correct, but we do sometimes want to promote our club to be successful.
Okay.
You also can mention that it is adult education, and that's a real bonus because most places want to provide adult education. You may, if they aren't familiar with the group, they won't know. So you have to sell it to them.
Thank you. That's a very good point.
Could I add something to that, Pastor Mark?
Yes, of course.
Yes, I before in our sessions, but not today until now. And it seems to dovetail what that last lady just said. I teach English as a second language, and my more advanced students are great candidates for Toastmasters clubs, and they in turn enrich the Toastmasters clubs by making our clubs even more diverse. So it's another opportunity for them to practice English, and then they benefit the club as well. So it's win-win. So tap into English as a second language classes in your area for
Right.
more potential members.
And that's also in the corporations because here in Oak Ridge that they have these foreign workers come for a couple of years. And if we can attract them, and the thing is you have to also be sure your environment in your meeting is open so they're friendly, and if they make mispronunciations, you're gentle in the feedback and sign them a mentor right away that contacts them by phone and lets them practice their speeches before they go to the group. But they really love it and oftentimes communicate after they leave with their mentors. It's a fun international exchange.
My alarm is going off telling me that our time has come to an end. I will stop the recording.